So here we are, expecting what they are calling a surge of tens of thousands of new patients, and we're having a shortage of nurses. And God bless it to the healthcare workers out there. We appreciate everything you do. We know that it's hard. We know the hours are long. We know that it's stressful, and we greatly, greatly appreciate you. I know a few in the field. U.S. hospitals brace for another challenge, an unprecedented shortage of nurses. Hospitals are trying to fill all kinds of positions, and they can't. As hospitals around the country prepare for a surge of tens of thousands of coronavirus patients expected in the coming weeks, they are trying to fill thousands of crisis nursing jobs nationwide, particularly intensive care unit and emergency room positions. Even before the coronavirus outbreak, several states were experiencing nursing shortages, and without dramatic increase in staffing, hospital administrators and advocates fear the healthcare system will not be able to handle the demand. And that would be a bad spot. That would make the curve spike. We don't want that. We want more healthcare workers and for the curve to come down. We don't want the curve to go up and less healthcare workers. If we overload the healthcare system, then we're going to get into the position that Italy is right now. And where is Italy right now? Well, let me show you where Italy is right now. Italy. Here's China. China has 81,218 cases confirmed. Italy has 69,176 cases confirmed. Interestingly enough, China coming off lockdown, they've got 47 additional cases. But the deaths. China has 3,281 deaths. Italy has more than doubled that at 6,820 because they don't have the healthcare system there. They have the healthcare system, but it's been overloaded. And the doctors are getting tired, and an overloaded healthcare system is a domino effect. Your doctors get tired, then another doctor has to pick up the slack, or another nurse has to pick up the slack, and then another doctor or nurse gets tired, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And that's not where we want to be, and that's going to be a big reason why there's more deaths than in China. The American Nurses Association is concerned about the pending shortage of nurses to care for COVID-19 patients, said Ernest Grant, the group's president. Said Ernest Grant, the group's president. I think they meant the group's president. In a statement to NBC News, it is critical that healthcare facilities and the federal government do all they can to protect this essential workforce. And it is very important, yes. We don't want a shortage, especially right now. And yeah, we are short for years. We've been short-handed on nurses all around in general for years, and doctors in general for years, and surgeons in general for years. Last week, Vice President Mike Pence announced that the Department of Health and Human Services will allow medical professionals to practice cross state lines to address staffing shortages amidst the outbreak. They've also called for retired doctors and nurses to come back. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has been sounding the alarm for weeks about a statewide shortage of healthcare workers. There we go. As the state became the U.S. epicenter of the outbreak, Cuomo has called on former nurses and doctors to rejoin the workforce, offering accelerated recertification on an emergency basis so they can assist with pandemic response. His administration recently sent letters to medical and nursing schools in the state asking for additional reinforcements. Nurses on the ground are also pleading for assistance. People will die because, realistically speaking, you cannot attend to 10, 20, or 30 patients to yourself, said emergency room nurse Catherine Ramos of New York. How could you possibly give the quality care that is necessary? You can't. And she has a good point. It's like a classroom. The more students per teacher, the less likely your student is going to have a good grade because the teacher's attention is divided quite more frequently. Same with a nurse. I encourage the nurses that are at home, that you have your license. Go help us out. We're all in this together, she said. We need to be together. We need to survive. Michael Fazio, the CEO of Prime Staffing, an agency that recruits nurses for major hospitals across the country, said that demand for nurses is unprecedented. Hospitals and other healthcare facilities sometimes hire nurses on short-term contracts to cover seasonal or other temporary staffing issues through companies like his. Fazio told NBC News that he placed 100 nurses in the New York City area last week and is currently trying to fill nearly 2,000 open positions, all posted within the last 3 weeks. In some cases, he's flying nurses in from across the country and putting them up in hotels. So if you're a nurse and you have a license and you want to help out, this could be a great opportunity on multiple levels for you. You know, you could get, obviously, work is going to be, well, pretty easy to obtain, but also helping others as well and maybe even saving lives. They can't get them in fast enough, especially in the ICU and the emergency department, he said. The calls that I'm on, starting at 6 in the morning every day, those are the areas the hospitals are really trying to ramp up and make sure they are ready to go. Fazio told NBC News that demand for nurses is currently about 20 times that of this time last year and continues to grow every day. Crisis staffing. The rising need for crisis staffing nurses has prompted rising salaries. Yeah, that nurses? Rising salaries. Good opportunities for you all the way around. There is inherent risk, of course, always. But it is your field, it is your profession, it is the field and the profession that you chose, and I'm assuming that you realize there were inherent professions in that to begin with. So, I'm going to stick with the good opportunities for you. Experienced nurses can now expect wages twice as high as pre-coronavirus rates, with nurses now making $100 an hour or more in some areas. Wow! Wow! $100 an hour or more. Damn. Crisis or travel nurses are typically staffed on short-term contracts and are not eligible for sick pay. Fazio's company is now offering 2 weeks paid leave if a nurse becomes ill in the course of caring for coronavirus patients. A serious concern given the highly contagious nature of the illness. So, an awesome opportunity for nurses out there who are willing to take the risk, take the brunt of the hardships that are associated with being a nurse, being a doctor, being in the healthcare system, period. We don't want, you want your medical staff being shorthanded no matter what, whether this thing was going on or not. But, wow. Just an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. A pandemic meets a nursing shortage. Wow. That's what I got for you guys on this one. I will see you in a little bit. I love you. I'll see you on the next one.